You are watching TGZ TV.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Industry, where we get to delve into the minds and journeys of people within entertainment as they give us their perspective of the industry. From an underprivileged background, creating his own musical instrument as a teenager, and later building his talent, inventing his own brand of instrument and musical language, whilst gracing the world stage as a multi-award-winning musician, Kekelingo takes us through his journey in the industry. Hello, Kekelingo. How are you? And welcome to Industry.
Thank you so much for having me. Is it Aleka? Am I saying it right?
Elaka.
Elaka. Okay.
Yes.
Lovely to meet you, Elaka. And thank you so much for having me.
No, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. I am actually really excited to actually delve into your career, to delve into your journey, because you are someone who's been in the industry for quite a while, and you've had quite an amazing journey, shall I say, not just around South Africa, but all the way in New York, places like the Apollo. And I am very curious, obviously, before all that happened and you had this long career, I would like to know, obviously, how it all began, what inspired Kekelingo, you as a child, what your aspirations are, and how you found yourself, basically leaning towards music and actually pursuing it as a career.
Wow, what a question! And I think I've made it since I'm in your in your network. And clearly I've made it.
Thank you.
Clearly I've made it. So my journey started at my grandmother's house in Soweto.
Okay.
In a four-roomed house in Soweto. I was the only boy at home. And we had a set of TV, a very old set of TV that play music.
Mm-hmm.
And this is around age of 5 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember vividly when Salif Keita Africa came on. Mm-hmm. And I remember also when Kajanin Samborera came on. And I didn't understand the language, but I could feel the music. And I looked up and I pointed on the screen and said that one day when I grow up, I'm going to be exactly like this man and this woman. They really inspired me. I mean, one, I didn't understand the language, but the music moved me so much. Yeah.
Wow, that's actually quite inspiring. So how old were you at that time?
Definitely between 5 and 6 years old.
5 years old.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That is quite amazing. So are you telling me from the age of 5, you knew exactly what you wanted to be?
It's a very funny thing to explain. But as human beings, we are spirit beings first.
Yes,
and I've always known, and I've always felt it, that music is definitely something that I am going to be doing for the rest of my life. And yeah.
Oh, wow. And how did you manage? Obviously, you were inspired and you said when you grew up, you wanted to go ahead and do that. So what happened from then on? Obviously, you were still a kid, you were still under the care of your parents. As far as your parents are concerned, you don't know what you're talking about half the time anyways. So how did you manage to obviously get yourself into actually, immersing yourself in anything that's music related, all the way from obviously primary school level, going into high school and further education? How did you navigate that and being able to still kind of stay on path to say, I still want to follow my dream?
Definitely. I'm glad you mentioned primary, because in primary, my arts and culture teacher gave us an assignment to create musical instruments.
Mm-hmm.
And me being Kekelingo, I went home and I went to go pick up some recycled material. I went to pick up a roll-on cologne bottle and a Coca-Cola 2-liter bottle. And I worked my magic and I made that into a musical horn. And the instrument is called the Keke horn.
Really? Do you still have that today? Did you keep that?
Of course, of
Oh my
course.
gosh,
Okay,
I'd love to see
let,
that.
let me tell you the story. And then I then the following day I took and went to school and presented my assignment.
Mhm.
And my oh my teacher was blown away. And she was like, "How did you know that if you put plastic together like that, it would create sound?" You know.
Right.
I was like, "I don't know. I was just moved, and the product happened, and basically the trumpet sounds like a trombone or a
Uh-huh.
saxophone.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can get different sounds from the instrument. You can get different sounds from the instrument. And before I knew it, my teacher said I should recruit more students, and we ended up having a brass band made up out of recycled plastic material.
Talk about a sustainable band.
Way ahead,
Way
progressive,
ahead of your
progressive,
time.
quite progressive. Progressive.
Wow.
Um, and then I went on to play the instrument. So on Saturdays, over the
Mhm.
weekends,
Mhm.
I would go and bask. I would go and bask for tourists.
Right.
So I would bask outside of Nelson Mandela's house because there's a lot of
Tourists a
tourists
lot
that would
there,
come
yes.
there.
Oh my
And then
gosh.
of course they'll be blown away and be like, "How did you create this thing? How did you know?" And I would put my head, and they would put in some US dollars, different currencies,
Mhm.
and then I would then go and exchange the currency and then buy some groceries for at home. This was
Oh,
pretty much me saying that I can actually make a living out of this thing,
out of
and
this,
that's
right.
how it started. That's how it
Oh
started.
my gosh, that is such a beautiful story, honestly. That is so
Thank you so much.
fascinating. Oh my goodness. And so like when obviously when you were going basking and you were able to actually make a bit of money from it, from an instrument that
Yeah.
you created yourself,
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
what did your mom say? What was the feedback from your family?
You know, like any African household, if you're not going to be a doctor, if you're not going to be a policeman, you are somehow not taken seriously.
Yeah.
Or let me say it was perhaps the wrong timing, because I feel
Mhm.
like parents in the year that we're living in are quite open to the
Yes.
idea of their kids being in the entertainment industry,
Mhm.
be
Mhm.
it they want to be a dancer or be a musician. They're
Mhm.
quite open to it.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I had a lot of proving to do. So with the proving, and then I then finished matric.
Okay.
I finished matric, and then I went to join. The stardom then began when I joined South Africa Has Got Talent.
Ah, SS Got Talent. Okay.
SS Got Talent, yeah. And I went to join it with my horn, the Kiki horn.
Uh-huh.
And I got there, and of course, I blew people away. And I went as far as the semifinals.
Wow. That is nice. So how old were you when this happened?
By then, I was 21. When I
You were
joined SS Got
21.
Talent, I was definitely 21.
Oh
So this
wow.
is why I can say that's when the stardom began for me.
Kind of
Yeah,
begun. So prior to
yeah.
that, what was your journey like? Obviously, because you know what you want, right? You know you still want to pursue music. What were you having to do in between? Obviously, you just finished matric, you finished school. What were you doing? Were you doing like a part-time job? Were you still practicing on the side?
Believe it or not, I was at home inventing more music because that's also when I learned how to play drums. So I would
Wow.
collect tins and buckets
Hmm.
and make up a drum kit, and then also play the horn at the same time.
Look at
I
that.
think for me, this was my school of music at home,
Right.
literally. Yeah. And then by the time I was 21, I laid my hands on a real drum kit. I could actually play a drum kit.
Uh-huh. Because you learned how to
Yeah.
at home already.
Yeah.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
yeah. And then it went on, and then I obviously met other musicians because
Yes.
now Kiki, I was Gregory, the guy with the horn, and now other musicians were interested, and that's when my journey began for me to collaborate with other musicians, where I joined a group called Love Glory,
Okay.
um, and then I went on then to join the Muffins.
Oh wow. So what kind of music did you guys create
And
when you
with the Muffins,
joined?
honestly, it was earnest music
Mhm.
that just came from the heart.
Mhm.
We call it eclectic soul
Okay.
because it's basically formed from different ingredients, different
Mm-hmm.
flavors of music. There's a bit of
Mm-hmm.
raga, there's a bit of maskandi, there's a
Mm-hmm.
bit of. I remember our one band member. He loved Britney Spears. He was a pop guy. He was a pop guy
Mm-hmm.
influenced by Britney. And funny enough, when we got together as the five of us, we
Yeah.
made an incredible sound that we can't even describe ourselves. And
Right.
and and yeah, now this is 2011 now.
Mm-hmm.
By then now this is 2011. The entire time I was just hustling, basking, trying to make this thing work, trying to make
Right.
this thing work.
Yes.
And then definitely when I joined the Muffins, that's when we got our first break. We got signed. We released our first album, and yeah, and then the rest was just history.
History, as they say. Okay, so I want
Yeah,
to go back a little bit. Obviously, when you said the fame, kind of started after you did SA's Got Talent, right?
yeah, yeah.
Who? Because obviously you knew about it, just like Britain's Got Talent, America's Got Talent. You see it on TV all the time, right? But you
Yes,
never
yes.
thought to think, do I want to try it? Did you think about it yourself, or did someone say, "Hey, you can do this. You should try it"? How did that come about?
Um, I think it was definitely belief. I had a lot of belief, and I thought my act or my talent was unique, and
Mm-hmm,
I thought this would definitely stand out. I
mm-hmm.
knew I was probably the only one that's gonna be on stage with a made-up plastic horn. So it was really belief. It was
Right,
really
right.
belief. It was belief, and I must say that is the same belief that I had from that age 5 and 6 to say that
Right.
I am gonna do this, and that's the faith that I've kept, and it has brought me till now. Yeah,
Brought you to where you are today. Oh
yeah.
wow! And so you said you reached the semifinals, right? In
Semifinals,
terms
yeah,
of impact on your life and change, because obviously, as well as pursuing a career, you're hoping it will be able to put food on the table as well, right?
definitely,
So
definitely.
after you did SA's Got Talent, did any opportunities that come forward your way that not only help propel your career, right, as a musician, but also did it help you on a financial standpoint as well?
Not necessarily. But I must say, because of that platform of SS Got Talent,
Mm-hmm.
Wade kind of got out there, and producers and other musicians
Mm-hmm.
were interested, and this is when I must say I started meeting professional musicians
Right.
through SS Got Talent,
Mm-hmm.
So that was definitely one of the opportunities that it gave me to engage with other musicians that I looked up to. I mean, I remember when I first saw Brahima Sikela, he
Mm-hmm.
was blown away. He was blown away. He was like, "How did you know to create this thing?" And he said to me, "I must just keep going on, keep practicing, keep
Yeah.
practicing. It
Yes.
will get better, and one day it will definitely pay off."
Right.
So I continued to bask. I suppose I
Mm-hmm.
continued to bask. I started doing small shows where now I was getting paid, and then
Because
I would
people
definitely then
recognize
go
you.
back home. Yeah, go back home, buy groceries for my grandmother because she was
Mm-hmm.
so dear to me.
Oh.
And yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's quite amazing. So, in terms of obviously now you're getting more shows, you're getting more recognized, obviously, because now that
Yeah.
has given you a better standing to say, hey, if you're gonna book me, you have to pay me X amount of money because that way you can kind
Yes.
of keep growing, right, as a
Yes.
musician. And so from that time frame, and to where you are, where you've ended up in the Apollo, because I'm just trying to like, how was that journey and what sort of steps did you take that kind of slowly catapulted your career to growing from strength to strength?
Yeah. So, like I said, then eventually I joined the Muffins, and me joining the Muffins, really, I was just standing in for their drama,
Oh,
and I basically stole the guy's job.
oh my goodness.
um,
Oh
because
wow.
the thing is, I'm not only just a drummer. I actually sing. And when I met with the guys and I played and I started singing, they were blown away. They were like, "Dude, there's no way you're gonna go. You have to be a member of the Muffins." And we went on to play shows in Johannesburg, at bars, at restaurants.
Mhm.
And I must say, at those particular bars, then celebrities would actually come and start tweeting to say there's this band. that plays amazing music, and they have this drama that sings in a language that does not exist, and that's how it started. That's how it started.
Really?
And yeah.
Okay, so so first, before we touch on the language, I just want to first find out what happened to the other drummer.
So when I met the guys, they were at university, at the University of Johannesburg, and so they were almost done with their studies, and now they were starting to find work and stuff. So the drummer had just gotten work, so I had to stand in, but it seemed forever, and it's been forever, and yeah.
Oh wow! And so he never came back to the group afterwards?
No, he never came back, and he was just like, "Oh, dude, you are the better musician here, actually."
Oh,
so and you compliment the guys very well, and yeah, no, we cool, we brothers, we boys.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad he was a good sport about it, because I don't think many people would have been.
Definitely.
But I think it's also a reflection. I think it's also a reflection on how even the whole group handles itself, you know, where there was no bad feelings and things like that, and how the transition was kind of made. I think that is actually a reflection.
Yeah. No, it was really a smooth transition. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, so obviously the next thing I want to touch on is you mentioned, you know, they were tweeting saying there's a drummer who speaks in a language. Okay, what is this language? And I mean, how is it that it's a language that doesn't exist?
The language, like I said, when I heard Salif Keita and Mama Kajanine sing, I mean, they were obviously singing in French, and I could not understand French, but I could feel everything they were saying. Funny enough, I could actually feel everything they were saying. And I started singing in this language after the passing of my mother, where I would find myself singing, but like in a, like I can say skating.
Okay.
In the music language, they call it skating, and then my friends would be like, "Dude, that actually sounds like a language. It does not sound like skating."
Right.
You know, because it would be so I'd be doing that.
Right. Oh my God. So it just naturally came?
Yeah.
Wow. But okay, is it translatable?
You know what? I always say to the listeners to say that the Kekelingo, it's all about feeling. You don't necessarily have to understand the language, but I promise you, once you open up yourself and you open up your being, you get it. We've released lots of music, and I've had people come up to me and say, that song, when you sang it, I actually understood every word, and I found so much healing from that particular song. And so yeah.
I'm so fascinated right now. You have no idea. I'm absolutely fascinated, because obviously I've heard about, you know, people coming up with languages, like, you know, when they do certain movies, right? There's a number of movies where they've had to come up with, you know, languages because of the fictional world they've created, you know?
Yes.
And then there's also other languages that even I speak that are kind of made up languages, but it's more like substituting certain words. So it's still technically English, you know, but this is the first kind that I've heard where literally just singing and you've literally got your own language, and it's called the Kekelingo. It's like, wow.
I mean, it's even crazy for me sometimes to explain it, because it's a crazy feeling. I find so much healing from it, and I now cannot sing like other language, like normal languages. I can't sing in like normal languages. I sound weird when I sing in normal languages, but every time I sing in the Kekelingo, it makes sense to me. It really, really makes sense to me.
Wow. So can you write it down? Are you able to write it down?
Yeah, I can definitely like write it down. I can
definitely
write
it down.
Yeah.
That is amazing. You never know. In years to come, you know, it might be added in terms of like as a music course, as part of a music course, or there's the Kekelingo language, you know, and you can never know. It's a whole genre.
No, definitely. And that's definitely the plan, eventually to take it to university, and it becomes a semester, and and have a master's on it and really just take it all over the world and teach,
Right.
because music is really, it's a feeling, and sometimes it comes in languages that we do not understand, and it
That
still
is
is
true.
amazing. Yeah.
That is true. That is true. Wow.
Yeah.
It's literally the epitome of music being a universal language. That's
Yeah.
literally what you have there. Something that's absolutely
Exactly.
universal. You know, that is honestly astonishing. And so obviously you are part of this band and people are tweeting about you, you know, being the drummer that's singing the language that they don't understand. And then what happened then, obviously, for you to kind of like obviously traverse over where you found yourself in the USA, you know, performing outside of SA. How did that happen?
So after people started tweeting, then there was a lot of curiosity around the Muffins and this drama that they have that plays and sings, that plays drums
Right.
and sings at the same time. And then we went on then to release our very first album called Have You Heard?
Okay.
And then we won South Africa SA awards. We won a lot of SA awards. We got a lot of
Wow.
nominations.
How many? Do you know how
We
many you've
started.
got so far? Because I know you got quite a few.
Yeah, what, 15 maybe? I think 15.
Wow.
Yeah, altogether 15. And this is also outside of South Africa in terms of the
Right.
awards.
Yes.
Yeah. And then once we started getting awards and we started playing at all the big festivals here at home, the name really grew and we really established ourselves quite well. And then that's when we were approached by the Apollo Theatre. And they extended an invitation for us to come perform at the Apollo Theatre.
Wow.
And I mean, Apollo Theatre
That's a big
literally,
deal.
that's like the entire music industry at one stage. Like, that's it. And we went there and we saw all the signatures from your Whitney Houston, from your Anita Baker, from your Angelique Kidjo. Literally everyone's signature is on that wall, literally. And it
And
was
you were
really,
there.
I was there. It was like unreal. It was very unreal. And it was really like a dream come true, because I must say, for any African child that has a dream, you want or you wish for your music to be known abroad, overseas, Europe, you know. So really, for us to be on that stage was really a milestone, really, really a milestone.
Wow. And so obviously for establishments like the Apollo to take, you know, to pay attention to you guys to the point where they
Yeah,
actually sent over an invitation for you to
yeah.
perform at the Apollo, what was the journey like in between in that actually got them? Was it just from the tweeting or was it just from you doing more gigs around South Africa and other parts of Africa?
I think then there was a lot of publication. I think very prominent publication, music publications, prominent music festivals, like playing at the Cape Town Jazz Festival, playing in the KEF Awards in Nigeria. This is us playing in Norway, touring Norway, the
Wow.
country, the European country.
Right.
This is us going to Algeria. This is us going to Swaziland. We literally went everywhere. So I think definitely it sparked something all over the world, where people were very keen to say, who are these people? Who are these young men? Who are these young men that make this amazing music, you know? And we really stood out. Our music is unique, quite unique. Yeah.
Wow. So I want to kind of take it back a little bit, obviously,
Yeah.
to the time when you joined the band, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
For you to actually go about even get in that position of being able to be on standing, you know, and then ended up being a permanent member of the band. How did you find out that they needed somebody, and how did you end up connecting with them?
Remember I mentioned Love Glory. So Love Glory was a female group, but I was playing percussion for Love Glory.
Right.
And then it so happened that Love Glory needed a guitarist.
Okay.
And the guitarist was actually from the Muffins. Aha. So now that's where the link was. where Sfiso is his name. Sfiso was like, wait, we need a drummer. I know a guy from another band called Kiki. Perhaps let me call Kiki. And then we linked up, and the entire band was just blown away. It was really just a genuine connection from day one. Yeah.
Oh wow! So it was a kind of like a bit of a smooth transition, right?
Smooth transition, yeah. Like
Oh
really
wow!
a greatest musical connection ever,
Right,
honestly.
right. And so when you
Yeah.
were performing with, doing percussion for the female band, how did you find them? How did you find yourself doing percussion, or was it just through your doing little gigs here and there, and they happened to need somebody?
So we actually met in Newtown when I was basking. So remember, on over the weekends, I would go to markets and I would start playing my horn, and that's how I met many musicians actually. So I
Wow.
would also like bask at like very prominent spots where I know there's a lot of musicians, or I know
Yes.
there's celebrities.
Yes.
Just really trying, just really trying. And this is how I met the two ladies, and they invited me to say, we have a group. Are you keen to join? And I was like, of course, So yeah.
That was pretty awesome. And I just want to touch on the aspect of busking, because I feel like we are in a generation where people expect everything to be, cookie cutter clean, right? In terms of getting
Mhm.
themselves immersed in the industry. They don't care about getting their hands dirty, so to speak, they care more about appearances,
Yeah.
the actual journey
Yeah.
and the work in.
Yeah.
And what
Yeah.
would you say about people who kind of are going, oh, basking, I can never do that? Because as someone in the industry myself, I'm always in awe of people who actually bask, because there's never not a person that's talented that basks. Everybody
Yes.
that basks that I've seen is extremely talented, they're
Yeah.
extremely
Yeah. Yeah.
talented. And so it is
Yeah.
always surprising for me when I find people are kind of looking down at basking, not knowing that there's a lot of really famous, successful musicians today who
Definitely.
started off
Definitely.
basking. And so what message would you give to those people who have been made to feel like basking is not an option because it's humiliating, or it's embarrassing, or whatever?
So what I would say to them is that practice is everything,
Mm-hmm.
and no one should undermine the idea of basking.
Right.
I mean, even big artists like Ed Sheeran, they were discovered from basking.
Basking.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and so I find that when you bask like that, that's when you are actually practicing how to be on big stages. Because remember, as you bask, there's like literally thousands and thousands of people that pass your way or that engage with you. So for me, what basking did for me was uh, the quality of me to be able to speak to people also,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and to also be able to express myself and to say,
Mm-hmm.
this is who I am, this is what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to, because you'll never know which seed it will like what blessing you'd get from that basking
That's true.
thing. So yeah, no. So I definitely say, of course, we live in a social media world right now.
Mm-hmm.
Things are very fast, but you
Mm-hmm.
definitely have to start somewhere. It
Yes.
doesn't mean once social media is there, it will just be a smooth transition. No, you're gonna have to work your butt off, literally work your butt off. And I'm still working my butt off. I'm really still, I really am. I
Right.
really am. And I check up all the people that I look up to. Salif Keita,
Mm-hmm.
Yusendo. They
Mm-hmm.
worked their butts off until they were old. So
Right.
really yeah, and working on their career to make sure the foundation is solid. And yeah, so I definitely say that. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think, would you say that when you not everyone has the privilege to go to a music school. Not everyone has the opportunity or the access even, to go to music schools where they get to do all these different aspects of the industry, where they get to, practice performance, stage performance, how to deal with a big crowd, or how to deal with hecklers, and things like that. Would you say for those people who, especially if you don't have access, would you say Basking allowed you that opportunity to kind of have develop a stage presence, and also be, like you said, learn how to be around the crowd, but also give you that confidence of actually knowing how to conduct yourself on stage?
Definitely. I use that to my fullest ability, because at home we didn't have any financial backup for me to go to even a music school. So I have no formal education in terms of music.
Wow.
Everything I do in music has been self-taught, literally self-taught. And don't make me shy now.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Because you know what? Because I think we live in a society now where obviously everything has advanced, right? So a lot of people have access. A lot of people do have access. They go to piano classes, they go to this class and that class and this class. And so as a result, you don't hear that many stories anymore of people who are actually self-taught, but not only just self-taught, but people who don't have actually the access, but still have been able to actually, overcome that and still learn instruments. And from that, off of the back of that, be able to learn even more instruments and actually pursue, their careers in music or even other, industries, And so it is, honestly, it's really, really inspiring. That's why it's like, I'm smiling. I'm just like, wow, I'm honestly in awe, of your journey. It's just unbelievable. It's amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I definitely had a lot to prove. I think this is why I made it my mission to make sure that I bask everywhere and make sure that I bask at spaces where influential people or musicians hang out there, so that someone can at least recognize, So I look back now and I'm like, I'm actually grateful for that classroom, because it has really made me this great musician that I am today. So yeah.
That's amazing. Coming up next.
Being on TV or being on a few publications doesn't mean that you are balling. So God has been really, really good. So it does work when both creatives that are focused get together. It works. Yeah. I love collaborations. I've done a song with DJ Cleo, the incredible DJ Cleo, called Ulukile, basically touching on all the people that we've lost through COVID.
And so, the teacher who obviously, told you guys to assigned you, gave you that assignment and said, you need to recruit some more so you can, form a group and do something together. Is she still around? Are you still in touch?
Yes, many years back, I definitely got in touch with them, because then I started getting a lot of publication on our local newspapers, local magazines. And I would then go to the school and also go to motivate students at the same school, and they were really very, very proud of me. Very, very, very proud of me.
I can imagine you're like the school hero kind of thing. So amazing. So we've got one that would actually.
Yeah, I remember I even won them computers. There was a competition and I won them computers. For the first time the school had computers, because the band that I formed with the Horns won actually that competition, and the school ended up getting computers. So it's been a journey.
See, anybody that tries to say the arts do not, offer opportunities, do not bring money, the arts actually make a huge difference, I think, in people's lives.
Massive.
Huge. And so in terms of, obviously, God rest her soul, you've mentioned you've got your late mom, but as you were slowly getting your name was getting more and more known, and you were getting a little bit more money to support your family, how has that affected you as an individual, but also how has it affected how people treat you, your family and your friends?
Yeah. Oh my God! Wow, what a question. I think, you know what, life is very funny, and I find that sometimes we have to prove ourselves so much that we often don't see if I am getting fulfilled.
Right.
And now I realize that actually I've been doing the work so much of making sure that I provide for my family and my sisters, and 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 of course they are very grateful. But I look back now, and I'm very proud of myself, because then it took a lot of belief for me to actually even do this thing, do
Right.
this calling that I have, which is music, and actually believing that actually I will be able to provide for my family. Um, so I must say I'm very proud of myself. I don't think I say that a lot to myself.
Yes.
I don't think, because we often so much look out for applause, or which is nothing wrong with it. But sometimes I think we put a lot of energy towards looking for applause or looking for approval when we don't actually give that to ourselves. You know what I mean? So I must say, when I look back, I can safely say I've definitely done the work, and I'm very proud.
You're very
Very,
proud.
very proud. Yeah.
That's really good. And then, like, in terms of how everyone around you, did anyone change around you, or did people say, "Oh, you've changed, you're different now. Now you're famous." Da, da, da. Did anyone change around you? Did people start treating you differently?
Yeah, of course, then I had to move from my neighborhood, because then, when you walk in the streets, people think you have lots of money, and they start asking for
Right.
money. And
Oh,
it's
yes.
a very uncomfortable thing. And then I really had to move. And I mean, I do go to my neighborhood, and
Yeah.
people do
Well,
still
which one?
greet
Which
me.
one was it, by the way? Which one? Because
So,
I'm a little bit familiar with Soweto, but not all of it.
so where in Soweto have you been? Where in Soweto have you been?
I've been to Dipkloof.
Whoa, okay, 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 girl, I see you. I see you.
I've been
That's a
to
cool spot.
there's another
Yeah.
area I've been to as well. I just can't remember the name. But I've
Was
actually
it
lived there
Orlando?
before.
Was it
Sorry.
Orlando, maybe? Or Orlando?
No, I've not been to Orlando. I am familiar with Orlando.
Okay, 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 okay.
I am familiar with
Wow,
Orlando.
okay.
Yes, Dipkloof. My stepmother's mom lives in Dipkloof.
Oh, wow.
Hmm.
That's incredible.
Hmm.
That's really, really incredible. So I am from Naledi,
Okay,
a township called Naledi, yeah, and so it's Soweto. Naledi. It's
I've heard of
literally at the
it as
back,
well.
at the back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah,
wow.
yeah.
And so you had to move out of your beloved neighborhood, obviously for safety reasons, and obviously because of the, misconception of your status
Yes,
financially as well, right?
yes, yes, yes. And you know what? Being on TV or being on a few publications doesn't mean that you are balling. It just means that you are working. You're working hard. You're working hard.
Mhm, mhm, mhm,
So, and this is why I had to move, for the peace of mind. That's why I
mhm.
had to move. And but I still go, and I still see my friends. Some of my friends that I grew up with in primary, and some of
Oh,
the ones that I grew up in my street. We're still
yes.
friends. We still grab a drink, and really just chat about life and where we are. So yeah,
Good. That's really, really good. So how
yeah.
did they, I mean, when they see you, they just treat you like normal. They're like, because they just know, they've known you from way back when. So for them, they don't see any different, right?
Oh, but then you also have to like remind them to be like, listen, when I'm here, I'm gay, gay. I'm not the guy on stage.
Uh-huh,
I'm
uh-huh,
gay, gay. I'm the guy you grew up with.
uh-huh.
So get that in your head. So yeah, but but it's very interesting. I must say, it's very, very, very interesting. But I think now that I'm older and I'm wiser, I know how to deal with when people come towards me like that. So I'm able
Right.
to say, okay, listen, when I'm here, I'm like this. I'm a
Mhm,
friend, and
mhm.
I'm not a star. When I'm there, I'm actually at work. I'm actually not a star, but I'm at
You're
work. I'm
technically
working.
working.
Yes, So yeah, yeah.
It just so happens it's something you love to do. That's the difference.
Exactly. That's really the difference.
Mhm,
And it took me to greater heights. And
mhm.
and I think for them, that is the thing. They always laugh and say that it's so crazy how we've known that you've always loved music and you did it at school. In the classroom, when they said we must be quiet, I'd be humming so that the teacher cannot hear me. I'd be humming. I sang
Oh my
the entire.
goodness. You were humming even when the teacher's explaining stuff?
The teacher would be like, "Hey, silence, silence." I said silence. And for me, music is everything. Like music is absolutely
Music
everything. Like
over everything. Music over
yeah,
silence.
I mean, even my wife says she knows that music is the first lady. That's what she
Right.
always says. Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
Oh my goodness. And it's interesting that you've actually mentioned that, you've got your wife, you've got a family, obviously.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and a lot of people tend to struggle to find love and to, have proper commitments in the industry. Others end
Yes,
up with another industry person where it ends up being a very
yes,
industry relationship and it's all over the media and stuff like that, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So in your case, how did you find being able to actually find somebody that you wanted to spend the rest of your life with and actually starting a family and still being able to maintain your status as a musician and having this busy, crazy schedule? Where you probably might even have fans coming into your DMs every now and then, how have you managed to be able to balance all of that and still be able to say, hey, I found this is the love of my life. I'm going to marry her. I want to start a family and I want to be able to kind of,
Wow.
life now.
Yeah. So earlier when my phone kept tilting, she was the one busy calling me. Actually, my wife was the one busy
Oh,
calling
bless.
me. But how we met is a very funny story. So my wife is a filmmaker. She's a filmmaker. She's a professional DOP.
Nice.
And then she runs an agency that creates adverts, pretty much ads
Okay.
for your big brands here at home. She just actually finished a campaign now with Disney Africa. She was the producer of that. She's incredible. So how I met her, her agency was running a campaign called the 48 Film Festival,
Okay.
where people have to make a film in 48 hours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then so they have like a short story one, and then they also have a music video category. So the muffins were called in to judge the music video category.
Mm.
And then we had a meeting, and she was there and with her other business partners, and she blew me away. She really blew me. This is 2011. This is 2011.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and she blew me away. She blew me away. And the next thing I knew, I invited her to our show, and and then it was December when I met her. It was December when I met her, and that entire December, every day I spent with her, and till
Wow.
now,
Are you telling me it was love at first sight?
I can definitely say so. Definitely say so.
Wow.
Definitely say
You
so.
see, those who
She
are watching, love at first sight is a thing, guys. Love at first sight exists. Okay, Kekelingo is proof. He's living proof. Love at first sight exists. For those
It
who have been
is.
told no, it doesn't exist, he is living proof. There you have it.
I mean, right now it's DMs. I know it's DMs thing now. People don't do the conventional way of actually going out and asking a lady out.
Right.
But true love is there. True love is really, I believe in it. True love is really there.
Right.
When the connection is genuine,
Mm-hmm.
it's genuine. And we've been together as both creatives. We have our daughter. She's 10 months old now.
Oh.
We are just growing day by day, and it's just really been incredible. Even during COVID,
Mm-hmm.
it was a very hard time, but really God was with us. We actually worked a lot. We worked a lot. Fun enough,
During
we're getting
COVID.
projects. I
Mm-hmm.
was doing music for ads, and I was working on theater, curating theater music.
Mm-hmm.
She was getting more work as well. She's also a lecturer. So God has been really, really good. So it
Right.
does work when both creatives that are focused get
Right.
together. It works. Yeah.
That's really good. That is actually quite amazing and inspiring as well, because when you have creatives and the industry entertainment together, um, it's never an easy journey,
Never.
trying to maintain your relationship, because not only do people know who you are, they know your faces, etc., but because
True.
of it, there's sometimes quite a lot of interference from outside people,
Definitely.
so it's how
Definitely.
you navigate your relationship in order to kind of maintain and still be able to have good standing within your careers,
This is
is
true.
so vital in kind of being able to stay together and maintain that unity that you've created and the vows that
This is true.
that
Yeah.
you made. So I just want to touch on, obviously, yours. Honestly, your journey for me is mind blowing, right? But throughout the journey, obviously, in finding all these amazing opportunities, being able to bask, what were your lows throughout your journey? What are some of the difficulties where in some stages where you were like, where you felt maybe you felt a little bit defeated, or you felt, it affected you on your mental health, where you're thinking, I don't know if I can do this, and looking at how the industry, how big it is, at a later stage, and how it really is very busy. There's a lot of pressure, this and the other. How
Definitely.
did you manage that when it came to moments that were kind of like negative or, disheartening or discouraging?
Yeah. No, I mean, of course, I did have those lows and those moments where I felt like I'm not getting a breakthrough, or no one is recognizing my talent, And so how I would deal with those lows, I love to walk. I love to walk. So remember when I said I used to bask? So
Yes.
I would walk from Naledi. Naledi is very, very far. Walk to Mandela's house for me to bask. So I learned that thing, and it actually became my therapy, because in the walks, I would then have conversations with myself and speak. If I'm hurting, I'll say, okay, I'm hurting, and basically speak to myself. And that has really helped me so much. Even to this day, my wife laughs every time she knows I'm going to therapy. Every time I say, okay, I'm taking my walk, she's like, okay, I'll see you when you come back. And literally when I come back, I'll then tell her to say, listen, I was feeling a bit low. I was not coping with this. This gave me a lot of anxiety. But through the walk, and there's just something about people. I love people so much. I get a lot of energy from people. So by me doing that, then I somehow find answers. It's the most weirdest thing ever. You know how everyone has their own unique therapy? This one is my one. And then only later, then I will come out and speak out to say, okay, I was not feeling well. I was quite low. And yeah. So that's how I deal with it pretty much to this day.
Oh, wow. That is actually quite amazing. I've actually got a question about your walk to Mendes, because, Naledi being far. How long did you have to walk for to get there?
I think it's a good 20 kilometers.
20 Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah. 20 kilometers, because it would take me
like what, an hour and a half or 2 hours even?
Yeah, it would be an hour. And hour and a bit. Yeah.
See, now that's dedication. That is dedication. And you know what? This is what I feel, this is why I love doing this show, because it's the whole point of this show. Because I want people to be able to see the real journey. I don't want people to just say, oh yeah, I started off from the bottom, now I'm here. I'm like, okay, but
yes,
where's
definitely.
the middle? Where's the middle?
Definitely.
I want to know.
There is a story. There's a story. There's a motivation.
Yes, and it's not always perfect. We live in an information age where everything is just perfect on Instagram, etc. But nobody cares to really delve into the story, the backstory of what makes that person tick, so to speak. The reason why people are so dedicated and so have got amazing work ethics, etc., have gotten to where they are. It's not because of how they started and where they ended up, but the journey that they took, and that's why this show is very, very important, and what you have just explained, I'm hoping, there's someone out there who honestly is thinking, I don't know how to do this. I don't have money. I don't have access, what can I do? But what they don't know is if God has planted in your heart, trust and believe that he will create a way for you.
And honestly, for any young people, young people that really want to be absolutely anything outside of music, that want to be anything, 90%, let me say 90% of the work has to be done by you, which is, first of all, believing. If you believe, I promise you, it's not a case of there must be someone that comes and be like, yeah, no, you are great at this thing. No, you actually have to believe in yourself first. It's a matter of us seeing you do the work before you even get signed to a label. You have to do the work and believe that I'm unique and believe that I am talented. Do the work, do the work. I promise you, someone out there will definitely see the work that you've been doing. So 90% is with you. Literally, your manager or your label has only 10% of work that they have to do. You are actually the household. You must do the entire work. I promise you.
You see?
Yeah.
That is actually very, very true. That is very, very true. It's actually an interview that I had with one of your signee mates from VTH season. You know, I mentioned saying 10% talent, you know, 90% work. You know,
that's it. That's really it. And if you can master that formula, you'll go far in life with absolutely anything that you want to do. Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, no, your journey is just absolutely inspiring. So now, obviously, you've kind of given me the groundwork, you know, that has helped me understand this ridiculously amazing CV that you have, you know. Let's talk about your music. You know, what currently are you working on and what have you got out right now?
Wow. So yes, then eventually I then, you know me and my leap of faith, I then DM'd one of fifth season directors, and I said, listen, I have a song, and I think one of your leading artists, which is Amifa. So because I have a lot and lots of faith, I then SMS'd or inboxed fifth season director, Benza. And I told him, listen, I have a song, and I think Amifaku would be a perfect fit for the song.
Right.
And before I know it, Benza was like, yes, Ami likes the song, and she'd love to collaborate with you.
Oh, wow.
On a song called Konza. Konza is a prayer and a dedication to my late mother. And it was just me paying homage to my mother and paying homage to all the queens that have raised sons on their own, pretty much. And that was my very, very first single. And I then went on to do another song with Amanda Black and Zoe Modiha called CRP. I've done a lot of songs, collaborations. I love collaborations. I've done a song with DJ Cleo, the incredible DJ Cleo, called Hulukile, basically touching on all the people that we've lost through COVID. Yeah. And your DJ Jess Dimitri on a song called A Prayer. So there is literally tons and tons of collaborations that are actually going to be released this year and many more years to come. So I'm in studio right now working on my project, working on an EP/project. My team and I are working so hard, and but the reception has been incredible since I've went solo, because this is my solo project now. So the reception has just been incredible all over the world, literally all over the world. I can
imagine, like, this is different. This is basically something for the ages, because before you were providing, you know, instrument play as well as vocals as part of a band, right? As part of a collective.
Yes.
But now it's your solo project, which means it's literally the Kekelingo project, where the Kekelingo language and the Kekelingo instruments get to be implemented. So it's literally you personified in music.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Kekelingo personified. I love it. I love it.
I think, I can imagine the reception has been amazing and people are kind of, you know, extremely excited. So have you got a date when you set for release? When are you looking to make the release?
I think definitely I'm hoping for the month of Africa Month. The Africa Month, I'm hoping to be dropping my new work, my EP. I think it'll definitely be an EP, because I believe in building. I believe in building, and I feel like an EP would be amazing, because so far I've just dropped singles. So I feel like an EP would be best as a body of work to release. So yeah.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. And so obviously, as well as having done so many collaborations already, and then performed in so many amazing places, the Apollo being the biggest one, you know, the most prolific moment of one of the most prolific moments of your life. Is there any stage that you still look at and think, oh, I would absolutely love to be able to have an opportunity to perform there? And then is there any particular artists or that you would like to either produce for, or, you know, create music for, or actually perform with?
I would definitely love to collaborate and perform with Fatoumata Diawara. Oh my goodness me. She's a queen. She's just incredible. She's incredible. She's really, really incredible. I feel like she's like one of the leading African female artists, queens right now, honestly. And I would also love to perform at the Fela celebration in Nigeria. I'd love to definitely, I'd love to perform there. Crazy, because we have a beautiful African continent. It's incredible. I'd love to perform in Ghana. Ghana also has a massive festival. I'd also love to perform at the North Sea Jazz, which is in Netherlands, in Amsterdam. No, Rotterdam. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know what? You've put it out there, and you know, now you just have to wait for it to actually happen.
It's from my heart to God's ears. It's done.
Exactly.
My belief system is crazy, so I'm gonna continue believing, and I'll still continue believing. Yeah.
No, amazing. Honestly, Kekelingo, it's been so astonishing, and I'm still in awe. Like, I'm still trying to compute like your journey and you creating your own instrument. I actually want to see what it looks like now.
Don't worry, I'm gonna arrange with my team so we can like send you some clips or some pictures. You'll see. We'll definitely send it.
Definitely, because I am just amazed. You know, I look forward to seeing your instrument being sold in instrument shops. You know, I don't see why it shouldn't be added. You know, to actually learn it as part of the curriculum as well as your language. You know, that's just something. You know, but it's been honestly absolutely amazing speaking with you. Your story is so extremely inspiring. You know, I know there's a lot of people who, you know, only see the world of the internet and Instagram and Twitter and TikTok and think they don't stand a chance, you know, because they don't have the same level of access that people showcase. But your story, I think, will really reach those other people who don't have the same level of access but still want to pursue what you are pursuing, and are probably, you know, extremely talented as well. So thank you for sharing your journey. Honestly, it's been amazing. I really appreciate it.
Wow, I'm out of words. Thank you for hosting me. Thank you for having me. I appreciate this platform so much, and to just blessing upon blessing on this incredible work that you guys are doing already. And thank you so much. Thank you.
No, honestly, I really appreciate it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, for those who are watching, this has been Kekelingo telling his journey in the industry and providing his perspective of how he has been able to navigate the industry. Otherwise, from myself and Kekelingo, my special guest for today, until next week, it is goodbye from me, and take care.
Bye.
Industry Entertainment Stripped Bare will return on Monday, the 2nd of May, with more amazing interviews and industry journeys. In the meantime, keep a lookout and listen to all the episodes on the Industry Podcast coming soon. For all the latest updates, simply visit www.tgzmag.com.